Hi, this is a quick demo on presentation types and how we use them in the miiEvent package in Salesforce.com. I'm currently on the main screen here, so up the top right I click on Apps and go to my Events and Registrations app. You'll need to set up presentation types before you'll actually set up a presentation. Presentation types are really a way of grouping your presentations so they all share a similar bond with each other when displaying on your website. So the best way to explain that is to actually set one up, and you can see how you can manipulate your website data based around your presentation types. So currently here I've got two ones I've already set up, one for a webinar and one for a live presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on make a new one. Okay, the first thing I'll be asked to do is give it a display name. So I'm just going to call this my test presentation type. Now I want to make sure that it is active so I can use it on any presentation I go create after this. My type's quite important. It's either a live presentation, a webinar, or a media only. For this example I'm going to do a live presentation. Display and presentation list means that it is actually active in your website. If you, for example, had a presentation type and you had 20 events for that year coming up and you decided to no longer proceed with that presentation type, then you could actually come in here and remove it from your website until such time as you're ready to do that. Priority display listing really is a way of displaying your particular presentation types in a certain order on your site. By default it's 999, but if you did have a type that you wanted to put up the top of the page, then you make that 1, and then so forth and so forth. The presentation list filter is quite important in the way that it displays what presentations are a part of this type. So by default here we're going to display the next 2 times months. So any presentation that's attached to this presentation type is going to display the next 2 months of upcoming presentations attached to this type. This can be manipulated, for example, if you wanted to do it for the next 9 times months, or you can even break it down into years, weeks, or days. They're the time-based ones. If you did actually want to do, if you're running say 100 presentations over the next year, but you really didn't want to inundate with your customers too many presentations for them to select from, you could simply say, well, I want to display the next 2 times presentations that are part of this presentation type. So it gives the website a bit more of a unique feel for that particular point in time and what their availabilities are. But you know, the same token, you might want to display the next 1 times years. So the next any presentation coming up in the next 1 year from today's date will display underneath this presentation type. A short description here. Well, I'm just going to put my test. And a long description again can be anything that you desire. Now these show up in next to your presentation type on your website, so you do want to give a bit of detail as to what they could expect out of this presentation type. Again, down here you've got breaks, refreshments, travel, and what to bring. You can set these up on the individual presentations, which we do recommend you do. So I'm going to go ahead and save this record now. Now I've committed that record, I can see I've got no presentations actually linked. If you want to look at the video about creating a presentation and how you relate it to this presentation type, it'll be explained there. Another important thing to mention about presentation types is if you've seen under the presentation that you can attach speakers to that particular presentation. For example, Bob Smith speaks at a presentation every month, but he may have guest speakers that come in individual states. So if you wanted to attach and not have to save Bob Smith on every presentation that you create from now on, you could actually set up a presentation to speaker type here. And so I'll go ahead and do that, and it will put in the presentation type ID that I want to attach it with. I'm going to activate it by default. And I'm actually going to go look up and find the speaker that is always going to be present at this presentation type. So if I go, Bob Smith is always going to be a part as a speaker at any presentation type that is my test presentation, then that way on the website, if I go and create any presentation under this, Bob is going to be automatically assigned as a speaker in the presentation profile. So that way it helps you not have to, every presentation, go add Bob, go add Bob, go add Bob. You actually can put it in one place and be rest assured that every presentation that's ever attached to this presentation type, Bob will be nominated as a speaker. So you can sort of see it's less data manipulation per presentation, but that allows you to do that, and that's the functionality of that.